Panic stops are every beginner rider's nightmare. You're cruising along, feeling good, and suddenly someone pulls out, slams their brakes, or swerves in front of you. You grab the brakes, everything stiffens up, and the next few seconds decide everything. I'm Matthew from Autozium, and today I'm going to show you how to handle panic stops without crashing. 1. Front brake is your best friend, if you use it right. Let's get one thing straight. Your front brake is the MVP when it comes to stopping power. On nearly every motorcycle, it handles 70 to 90% of the braking. That's not a guess, that's physics. When you slow down, your weight shifts forward, compressing the front suspension and increasing traction on the front tire. And that's exactly where you want to apply stopping force. But here's where beginner riders mess up. They panic and grab the brake like they're grabbing a doorknob in a fire. Big mistake. If you yank the front lever suddenly, especially at speed, you can overwhelm the front tire's grip. That's how you lock the wheel. That's how you go down. Front end washouts happen fast, and they're unforgiving. The key? Progressive braking. Think of it like squeezing a lemon, not snapping a mousetrap. Start light, feel the front fork compress, and then gradually apply more pressure as the bike loads the front end. This gives the tire time to grip and dig in instead of giving up and sliding out. Practice this in a straight line at moderate speed. Squeeze the lever smoothly, no sudden jerks. You want to feel the weight shift and the tire grab without drama. Do it until it feels like second nature. Because when that panic moment hits, you won't have time to think. Your hand will react how it's trained. And if it's trained to squeeze, not snatch, you'll stop faster, stay upright, and live to tell the story. 2. Rear brake helps, but don't rely on it alone. The rear brake is kind of like the backup singer of the motorcycle braking system. It supports the performance, but it's not the star of the show. Used properly, the rear brake adds stability. It helps settle the chassis, prevents nosediving too aggressively, and provides a little extra stopping power. Especially at low speeds, like in parking lots or during slow maneuvers, it's super useful. But in panic stops, many new riders over-rely on it. Why? Because the rear brake feels safe. It's away from the throttle hand, less intimidating, and doesn't cause that scary front-end dive. So, in a moment of fear, riders slam their right foot down on the pedal. What happens next? The rear tire locks up. You start skidding. And on some bikes, that locked rear can swing out sideways, especially if you're not upright. That's called a low side crash, and it's no fun. So here's the right approach. Use the rear brake, but use it lightly and deliberately. It's not there to stop the bike alone. It's there to complement the front brake. Think of it like a stabilizer, not a primary tool. A smooth panic stop uses about 70% front brake and 30% rear brake, give or take, depending on the bike, road surface, and speed. If you ride a cruiser or a heavy touring bike, the rear might do a bit more. On a sport bike, a bit less. The bottom line? Don't stomp. Don't skip. Learn to use both brakes in harmony. Because when used right, your rear brake won't just slow you down. It'll help keep the whole bike under control. 3. Look where you want to go, not at what scared you. This one is massive, and it trips up even experienced riders in high-stress moments. It's called target fixation, and it's your brain's worst habit in an emergency. When something suddenly goes wrong, your eyes lock onto the threat: a car's bumper, a pothole, a deer. And here's the scary part: where your eyes go, your hands follow. So if you stare at that bumper while panic braking, you're not just looking at danger, you're steering into it. Instead, you need to break the instinct. Train yourself to immediately look for your escape path. That might be a gap between cars, the shoulder, even the edge of a lane. Wherever the safest open space is, that's where your head should turn. Here's how to practice it. In a safe parking lot or closed course, do an emergency stop, but deliberately turn your head during the braking. Pick a cone, a line, or a marker, and make yourself look at it. It sounds small, but in a real panic stop, that one habit, looking where you want to go, can be the difference between a clean escape and a crash, because your body follows your eyes, always. So give it the right destination. 4. Grip the tank with your legs. Want more control under panic braking? Take some weight off your hands and put it into your legs. A lot of beginners get this wrong. They ride with loose legs and stiff arms, so when they slam the brakes, their whole upper body lurches forward. That throws off their balance, overloads the bars, and makes precise braking nearly impossible. The fix? Clamp the tank with your knees. Squeezing the tank stabilizes your body and gives your arms freedom to do what they're supposed to do. Modulate the brakes, not carry your torso. Think of your legs like shock absorbers and anchors at the same time. You're grounding yourself into the bike, so when the sudden deceleration hits, your core stays engaged and you stay in control. This also reduces fatigue. When your legs are doing their job, your arms won't feel like they're about to fall off after 10 minutes of riding or one hard stop. Plus, it trains you to use your whole body, not just your hands, to stay planted in the saddle. Practice it. Ride with intentional leg pressure. Do short braking drills while actively squeezing the tank. Get used to transferring that tension into your thighs. In a panic stop, you won't have time to think. But if this is already part of your riding posture, your reaction will be smoother, more balanced, and more effective. 5. Practice stops from different speeds. Here's where most beginners miss a key piece of the puzzle. Braking at 25 miles per hour feels nothing like braking at 60. The physics change, the feel changes, and your reaction time shrinks drastically. If the only emergency stops you've ever done were at parking lot speeds, you're not fully ready for what might hit you on the highway. So what's the fix? Deliberate varied practice. Find a quiet, safe spot, a large parking lot or an empty back road. Start at lower speeds and gradually increase. 20 miles per hour, then 30, then 40. Work your way up to speeds that match your normal commute or ride style. You'll notice things like how much front dive the bike gives you, with how far you actually travel when braking, and how stable the bike feels under load. Use both brakes, grip the tank, and focus on form. Don't just slam the levers and hope for the best. Try to stop as quickly as possible without locking up or skidding. That balance takes time and feel, and this is how you develop it. And the best part? Every practice stop you make builds instinct. One day, when a car cuts in front of you at 50 miles per hour, you won't freeze, you'll respond. 6. Know your bike's limits. Every motorcycle behaves differently under pressure, and the more you understand how your bike responds to hard braking, the better you'll handle panic situations. Does your front end dive aggressively when you squeeze the brake? Does the rear lift slightly? Do you feel the ABS kick in with pulsing feedback? Or maybe your bike doesn't have ABS at all, meaning you need even more finesse. You don't want to discover these behaviors for the first time in traffic. So get familiar. Go to an empty lot or a quiet back road and test it safely. Start slow. Practice firm stops and pay attention to how the bike reacts. Is there a point where your tire starts to squeal? Do you feel your rear end wiggle or lift? If you ride a sport bike, you'll probably have sharper front dive and more abrupt response. Cruisers might feel more planted, but take longer to stop. Adventure bikes with long suspension, expect some dramatic dive and bounce. And if you have ABS, don't fear it. Learn what it feels like. Let it engage. That way, in a real panic stop, you won't freak out when the lever pulses or the tires feel like they're skipping. The takeaway: your bike is trying to talk to you. Learn its language now before you need to rely on it. 7. Don't just brake. Think escape too. Sometimes stopping is the worst possible option. Think about it. You're riding on the highway and a truck swerves into your lane. If you slam the brakes, you might stop right in front of another car's grill. But if you're ready to swerve instead, you might avoid the crash altogether. That's why panic stops aren't just about braking, they're about decision making under pressure. You need to train both reflexes. One drill that works: ride at a moderate pace in a safe area, brake hard, then add a quick swerve immediately after. Not a huge lean, just enough to change direction while slowing down. This teaches your brain to combine braking and steering, which is what real life emergencies demand. And it builds confidence that your bike can do both: stop and move without falling apart. Also, always scan for your escape routes. On any ride, in any lane, you should know Where would I go if this car slams the brakes? Shoulder, median, empty lane, even a gap between vehicles. Just keep options open. In a panic moment, those extra milliseconds of readiness are gold. So don't lock into just one mindset. Brake hard if needed, but don't forget, moving out of the way might save you even faster. 8. Your reaction starts before the danger. Want to know the real secret to mastering panic stops? Avoid needing them in the first place. Because panic stops aren't just physical, they're mental. If you're zoning out, distracted by your thoughts, fiddling with your gloves, or tailgating a car, you're already behind. By the time danger hits, your brain will be scrambling to play catch up. But if you ride alert, eyes up, space cushion maintained, escape routes mentally mapped, you won't just brake faster. You'll brake sooner. And often, that's all it takes to turn a panic stop into just a firm, controlled slowdown. Here's the deal: danger rarely shows up with a warning sign, it appears in a flash. So your reaction time has to be baked in already. That means developing good habits, covering your brakes, keeping a finger on the clutch, watching cars allow, wheels for movement, anticipating cross traffic. Ride like everything on the road might do something dumb, because it will. Being mentally ahead doesn't make you paranoid, it makes you prepared. And that preparation turns what could have been a white knuckle moment into just another part of the ride. This isn't about fear, it's about readiness. Because panic stops don't give you time to think, they give you time to react. And the best riders don't panic, they prepare. I'm Matthew from Autozium. Ride smart, ride ready, and I'll see you out there.